Spider-Man just does film so much better.
I feel like the Spider-Man films have, just like the Batman films, they have elements to them that are good. I don't feel like any one Spider-Man film has just like nailed it.
True.
Even though I do like No Way Home a lot. I actually like that film a lot.
I would say the Batman films are better.
I would agree, actually.
Typically, but I think I was just looking at it as like DC Universe.
I actually think No Way Home might be the best Spider-Man film, in my opinion.
Off with his head.
If I could get like a weird mix of all three Spider-Man films, that might be the ultimate Spider-Man film.
I mean, isn't that No Way Home? That's why I like that one so much.
I don't necessarily think so.
I actually think Tom Holland is the best in that film out of his entire trilogy too. Like, I think that's.
I'll agree with that, but like I want more elements of Homecoming because like Homecoming kind of focuses on I don't know, like his high school life a bit more.
Oh, fuck.
And like him being Peter Parker and his conflicts in like that life a bit more. Far From Home was Tony Stark Jr. A lot of that.
I liked Mysterio.
Still enjoyed the film.
Yeah, I liked Mysterio in that film a lot, and I liked the Mysterio segments because I did think they caught me off guard the first couple times I watched the movie. I was like, oh shit, forgot about that. Which is the whole point of Mysterio, so I thought that was cool. Once again, Mysterio's a great villain, dude. I think he's like almost like the Riddler of Spider-Man, where he tests Peter's kind of intellect. And
I'm just a bit mad that it.
I thought Jake Gyllenhaal did a good job too.
I agree. I'm just a bit mad that it was tied to Tony Stark.
That's my biggest problem with the first two films, though, is that I liked Mysterio, but it was like, Tony Stark called my invention barf. I'm like, that's such a Marvel MCU-ism right there. Like,
I mean,
it's
it
just
doesn't feel like it's a Spider-Man villain.
No, it feels like it's an MCU-ism. Like, everything's got to be tied to the thing. Remember this thing from that thing? Why can't it just be its own thing? You know what I mean? Why does it got to be fucking tied to... Or Homecoming's like, you don't deserve to have the suit, like, which I liked that. But why is all of that surrounded by, like, it just feels like everything with his character, minus No Way Home, is surrounded with Tony Stark. Like, which I thought was a cool take. It's something we hadn't really seen before. I liked that. But why is it that we had two films where it was like, you'll never be Tony Stark. You'll never be. Why can't you just make a Spider-Man film with that Spider-Man? Because I think Tom Holland's good.
I think the problem with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and this is the first time I thought of this until now, is that he's too tied to the MCU, where if you tried to write him in any of his other stories, it almost feels like you need a different person playing Spider-Man.
But that's why I think with the way they ended No Way Home, I think that was a great way to end it, is because they got rid of pretty much everything that makes him tied to the MCU by memory wiping everything and getting rid of MJ and all that. Like, it is basically a clean slate for Tom Holland, which I think is a good thing.
I agree. I didn't really think of it like that. That's totally fair. You're probably very much correct in that. The working theory that I had before No Way Home came out,
all right, this is what we're gonna do,
was that it was supposed to be a story of Morlun, but it ended up being a weird Doctor Strange movie.
I just feel like they just used Doctor Strange to kind of bring the multiverse aspect into it. Which it turned out that No Way Home was actually a better multiverse movie than the Multiverse of Madness. But I think the reason I say that is because it centers around the other universes of Spider-Man, and you get more, with that, you get more introspection to the character of Spider-Man. That's why I think
the more I think of it, the more I'm
like a Spider-Man film.
Actually mad that Doctor Strange is involved at all.
He is a plot device.
He really is, and he shouldn't feel like that. Like...
He was better in that movie than his own sequel, dude, to be honest with you. Like, that's just the God's honest truth. That movie was... Did that knock him out?
Dead. Deceased.
Yeah, he's fucking done, so. Yeah.
I think we're about to get to the second illusion here soon.
Yep, I think you're right, and I think that's about where we stopped.
No problem. Batman's just like dapping
Where's
him
the
up.
baddie?
He's like, anytime, big pimp.
Anytime, big pimp.
It just fucking walks out, bro.
Anytime, cuh. What'd you say, Batman? Nothing.
Homie.
Just shoots out of there. Alfred, I had an awkward interaction today.
Yikes. There will be no song more iconic for Batman than there used to be a crane tower along by the sea.
The most sensitive of all the Batmans.
Joker's thugs were trying to get into that office.
It looks like they couldn't get through the main door. Got to find a different way in.
So there are bits. So I agree with you that I like the atmosphere of Asylum a lot. Like, I love that it's like a bit more claustrophobic than you edgewise would get with the future installments, but some of the areas are definitely a little on the bland side.
Yeah. I mean,
And this is a studio's first.
it's also a limitation of the console.
I
too,
agree.
you know what
I
mean?
agree.
Or at least what they knew the console could do.
I'm just like, how many bits of paperwork can we put on the ground?
Yeah. I feel like we're kind of seeing that now with the PS5 right now, where it's like it still is in its like PS4
Infancy.
age, where it's like
I agree.
it's just acting like the PS4, but with better performance.
I agree.
But by the time we get to the end of the life cycle of the PS5, I feel like you're going to see games look a lot better.
Which, I mean,
At least I'd hope. I mean, that's the whole fucking point of having a new console generation.
end of
so.
the life cycle of PS4, gotta say, looked pretty fucking good. Like,
It did. Same with the PS3, dude. The first Last of Us.
totally fair. Still holds up. If you guys want to see us play Last of Us.
I haven't played the second one.
True, bro.
I haven't played the second one, so.
Oracle, I'm on Dr. Young's trail. I've had to calibrate the scanner to only show recent prints. If I follow these, I will find her or the...
Yeah, and hearing about Joker's relationship with Dr. Young is, like, so fascinating. It feels almost a little out of character.
Interesting.
As I thought. It's
Just like,
the real
comedyman101@gmail.com sent you a message.
At gmail.com.
Hello? Hello.
Been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Oh.
I think Batman ever just has like an off night.
I'm just not feeling it, Alfred.
Clock it out.
This is not the vibe.
He's like fighting me. He's like, you know what? I got a migraine. Like, you know, I had a lot to drink last night.
Yeah.
Just, can we pick this up tomorrow? Yes, Batman.
You know what? I'll do you a solid.
I'll go rain check. Yeah.
Rain check on that fight. We'll meet here at 8 p.m.
Can you do 9?
I prefer 9. 9 it is.
Say less, Batman.
Say less, fam.
Just fucking daps him up, heads out.
You're a real one.
You know, for a shithead, you're pretty cool. You too, fucker. You want to grab some brewskis after this? Oh my, oh my. We've been playing.
Later, they both just get like hella hammered. He's like, you know, I still got to put you in jail, right? And he's like, ah! They like point at each other at the bar. Like, that's a good one, Batman.
Oh my god. Please, I need that. I need that version of Batman and Bane. You know, I would actually like more stories with like going into more depth with Batman and Ra's al Ghul. I know people say Roz, but I've known him as Ra's like my entire life.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, I feel like you could say either one.
Yeah, I mean, we've had stories, but I always feel like Ra's has always been that kind of like side element. Like, he was kind of like the mover and shaker of Arkham City for sure, but
Yeah.
even then he felt like a background character in his own plot. I don't know. I want to see more with Arkham City, the psychiatrist or whatever he is. Hugo Strange.
Hugo Strange? Yeah.
Love to see more of that. I would love to see that in film, actually. He gets there's the animated The Batman that came out in like early 2000s. You know, he was more of a character in that show, I would say.
Yeah.
Actually pretty interesting. Like, he was a weird fucking character. Like, he was like hyper obsessed with psychologically analyzing like the Batman and the Joker, and they kind of went more into that. Yeah, I'd like to see a bit more of that portrayed on screen, or even just like an Easter egg of them would be cool here and there. It's just not a flavor or a side of the Batman we've gotten a whole bunch of, which that was the same case with the Riddler as well until the film with Pattinson. I think Pattinson would do well with a new Scarecrow, actually.
I actually would agree with that. There's a lot of villains of Batman's that are just dark and twisted and weird and fucked up. Like, if you really think about it, you know? I think that's why Batman's so appealing, dude. He's got fucked up villains, dude.
Yeah, hard for me to say. Like, I'm sure a Poison Ivy film with the Batman would be fine, but I'm curious about like the actual interaction between himself and Miss Ivy. Is there any obscure superhero stories that you'd want to see? Maybe something a bit more out there?
I think I'd like an Invincible live action.
Ooh. Well, I mean, closest thing we're getting right now is Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Pretty curious to see that. How are you feeling about it?
I am curious to see that too. That's supposed to be part of James Gunn's universe too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Invincible is actually really good. I'm actually looking forward to more quite a bit.
Season 2 is supposed to come out later this year, but I loved season 1 of Invincible. I thought it was
Well, some of Invincible got a touch spoiled for me.
yeah, because there's tons of memes around it. And
Well,
shit.
no, it was robots lore.
Oh yeah,
And like stuff that goes on with him in the comics and everything.
and Monster Girl and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. Like, they go to so you know those aliens that invaded Earth or whatever, and they like hyper aged or what have you.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
him
yeah.
and Monster Girl go to their world for like 1,000 years or something like that, and of course it's like, oh, you guys have only been gone like a day or like 8 hours or whatever, but you know, they've lived the like extensive lives. Robot becomes like a leader of a rebellion, Monster Girl and him get married and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, no, I do that a lot, where like I just go on like binges of like, I want to know more about this thing, so I'm gonna look up, like, I will, and I've said this to Troy, like, I will play through the entirety of the game and sometimes and not know what the fuck happened, so I'll have to look up like a lore video if I want to know more. Like, Dark Souls is a prime example. Played through the entirety of Dark Souls. I was like, dude, that's a really good fun game. I really enjoyed that. And then I was like, what happened though?
Yeah.
And then yeah, I went on a deep dive for like a lot of lore for a very long time. Looked up lore, looked up podcasts. I don't know. Are you pretty good at ingesting what's going on with?
No, I mean, it depends. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. I feel like a lot of the time it's just better that I just replay the game a few times. I end up picking up a little bit more here and there the more I replay it, or the more I rewatch something. Movies, I feel like I'm better at digesting what's going on than I am with video games, because a lot of shit that you miss in a video game is something that you didn't go out and get, like a note, or, you know what I mean, like something like that, where it's like kind of off the beaten path of the game. Movies, it's kind of like just whatever you're seeing on screen, or maybe a character says a line that you didn't quite get the first time.
A lot of the well, with a movie, And to kind of discuss this a bit, with a movie, you're so mentally prepared to digest something that like you're in that frame of mind to like absorb what's going on. With a game, like I get so lost in it mechanically that I can't focus on anything else.
I think the thing with the movie that you can get a lot of